If you love big-time field hockey, Big Ten style, this is the place to be. Big Ten quarterfinal number 1, number 6 Michigan State against number 3 Michigan. Dean Linke with Carol Lentz. Let's take a look at the starting lineups. First, for the Michigan State Spartans, they're led up top by their junior Kendall Anderson, their leading scorer.
And keep a note on Sierra Patton, a goalkeeper that rotates in with Katie Miller on this line. So they have very dynamic goalkeepers in net.
That's the starting lineup for the Spartans in green, the Michigan Wolverines in maize and blue, a new back line.
And Maggie Betez, one of the center backs for this team that has really come into herself as a player this season with the loss of Lauren Thomas.
Yeah, Marcia Pankrat's entire back line, Caroline Kromick, the reigning Big Ten Defender of the Year, Lauren Thomas and Mackenzie Ellis, all graduating. So what they did is they took starters from last year and just switched it up. You mentioned Maggie Betez. There's Marcia Pankrat's 17th season as Michigan head coach. Took a little break about halfway through. Of course, won the national championship back in 2001. One of the best coaches you'll ever find. Michigan State again in green, black, and black. The Michigan Wolverines in maize, blue, and maize. Delighted to be with you here from College Park, Maryland. The weather, knock on wood, right now fantastic as you take a look at the Scotty sensation, Helen Knoll, her 6th season. Such a delightful young lady, full of positive energy for the Spartans. The Wolverines turn it over right at midfield. And the Spartans going the other way. That one searching loose, but from distance. These two teams met September 16th at Michigan State. Michigan won that game 4-1, but it was a tight contest. Michigan had 12 shots to Michigan State's 10. Penalty corners were almost identical and saves were 5 each. Enge for Michigan now. Along that right side. It's Carly Bennett, the left-handed sensation, Courtney Enge and Allie Sardo up top. There's that left-handed sensation with the left hand. Bennett deflected just at the last minute there as Sierra Patton. Carol Lentz already told you it's been Katie Miller and Sierra Patton taking time, splitting time in goal. First dangerous opportunity, though, coming from Carly Bennett. Carol Lentz, our stats person today, former Maryland star Faye Curran, said it took her forever to try to get adjusted to Carly Bennett in that left-handed style.
Well, I think one of the reasons why she's so effective on the forward line is on the press. It's very deceiving to an outletting defense, and that was a great job by Michigan's press on the previous set.
Kendall Anderson had it for a moment and lost it. We told you about Kendall Anderson. She leads the Spartans with 36 points, 14 goals, and 8 assists. And you see her right there on your BTN screen. Michigan State quickly played. Hard to believe, November in College Park, Maryland, and temperatures up near 70 degrees, just perfect. Look to find Enge at midfield. Right now, though, Michigan State, some high pressure against the Michigan Wolverines, really not letting Michigan get out of their defensive third at the moment. First of 4 live on the Big Ten Network. Penn State and Indiana up next. Maryland, Rutgers, Northwestern, Iowa. The Big Ten is strong as it's ever been. 5, count them, 5 Big Ten teams in the top 15 nationally. And when you talk to the coaches, Marcia Pankratz even, she thinks 4 Big Ten teams could get in the NCAA tournament. Might be hard to get 5, but there's 5 really good ones. There's 8 really good ones for that matter. Played in front, Bennett had the best opportunity. Enge is open, Enge was waiting. Good job defensively to step up and get in the way right there was Bonas. Speaking of Lauren Bonas, she has it now. Knocked out of bounds by Bennett, and we'll see what kind of pressure Michigan puts on the Spartans.
Michigan State really taking their time when outletting the ball, trying to make a very careful decision where they place it. And Michigan's press, very effective in this corner and section up the field.
Tula with the outlet, Megan Fenton on the left side. Outstanding speed for Helen Knoll and the Michigan State Spartans as she gobbles up 50 yards down the left side.
Yeah, she had a great first touch. She even put the ball into a playable space directly down the sideline. Fantastic 1v1 defense, so coming from Maggie Battez in the backfield for Michigan.
So here comes Michigan, just like that, the other way, causing the turnover. Ellie Sardo from Massachusetts. Of course, that's where Carolettes grew up.
Head coach Marcia Pancrat's also coming from the state of Massachusetts. Very competitive high school field hockey that they have in the state. And it's nice to see some East Coast action in the Midwest.
Turnover.
A couple of those from Michigan State trying to come out of the back, absolutely.
Katie Trombetta, she played that holding mid last year, and now she's the center back trying to fill the shoes of Lauren Thomas, one of the best center backs you're ever going to see.
Fantastic save coming from Sierra Patton. Had to make a decision to come off the goal line and place a foot save, on that previous play. You see Point Blake just deflects it out to the side. Needs some more help from her defense, though, with preventing those situations.
So great work by Patton. Now Michigan State again will work it up the left side as Addie Donaldson started after the whistle. Donaldson. Trombetta comes over. Katie Trombetta, first team all Big Ten for the Michigan Wolverines. Carly Bennett and Sam Swenson, second team. Noelle Rota from the Indiana Hoosiers, your first team goalkeeper this year. Two of the best goalkeepers in the country hail from the Big Ten, and Swenson and Indiana's Noelle Rota.
Bailey Higgins is so composed in the backfield. It's hard to believe that this is just a sophomore defender doing what she does back there. Very smart with how she approaches the ball, and she was so effective on that previous set with Courtney Enge, putting the pressure on around the 25-yard line and then earning her team a free hit coming out of the backfield. Really liked the play of Higgins in the game against Northwestern. This is a hungry Michigan State team. They've had two close one-goal losses to end the season. They are fired up to get a Big Ten tournament win.
Yeah, Michigan State comes in with those two losses. Michigan comes in riding a three-game winning streak. And when you talk about Michigan, talked to Marcia Pancratz yesterday, it was, her back line totally gone and took a little time to get adjusted, and she's really feeling good about where her team is right now, reflected with that three-game winning streak.
And this is a team that challenged themselves from the first weekend, playing the ACC Big Ten tournament, and of course knocking off top-ranked North Carolina to start the year, then traveling out to California. I mean, this is a coaching staff that designs a very good schedule to start the season in their non-conference, and then you really have to highlight their win against top 10 opponent in Louisville. That does a lot in regards to making it to the NCAA tournament bid.
Yeah, well said. That just last week, October 29th, a 4-1 win over Louisville for the Michigan Wolverines. An interesting team as you take a look at Michigan. Their leading goal scorers have 6. Bennett has 6, Way has 6, Courtney Enge has 6. 12 different players have scored for Michigan, so it's by committee.
A young team too, and one of the fantastic things when you have such youth is to see the team develop throughout the course of the season.
Emma Way, seen her score some big goals in her brief time at Michigan, has now come on already for Marcia Pancratz. She wears number 20. Way comes in with 6 goals and 4 assists, 16 points, just one behind Michigan's team leader in Bennett. Spartans try to go right up the spine of the field. 2 passes complete. That final pass comes up just a little short, but earlier the Spartans were trying to work the left side. This time they go right up the middle.
Simone Vagnoni does such an incredible job in the center of that midfield. Great job of flashing back to the ball and then turning herself towards forward looking of the field, looking for a good pass. Excellent job by number 16 in green, the middle of your screen.
Enge. Got a whistle. As Enge plays it in. Simone Vagnoni. All Big Ten first team selection. In the circle, Way. She'll turn right or left. Way, big turnover for Emma Way. Excellent stick work. Was looking for a whistle right there, and now she'll get it. Carol Lentz, you know all too well as a great midfield player, when your forwards are playing defense like that, it's going to help. Michigan is now on the attack, right in front. Patton still guarding the near post. It'll go out of bounds, but that's outstanding defensive work from Emma Way just a little bit ago.
Absolutely, and I mean, these are forwards that also contain a tremendous amount of speed. When you're able to really corner an opposing team into a small space, that can do wonders for your counterattack.
Meg Douthwaite had it for a moment. One back here, though, by Kendall Anderson. Anderson, excellent pass quickly. Trying to feed it to the far post as Michigan State up the field. Kendall Anderson has just had an outstanding junior campaign for the Spartans.
Great speed, too, by Megan Fenton, number 22. Look at herself situated right in front of Sam Swenson. That ball just went off the stick. Michigan State attack inside the circle.
Now drop inside. Yep. You can play that.
They'll give that back to Michigan State as it looked like it went off Anderson, but they'll say no. Ball stays in bounds. Emma Way, excellent hustle. Way has brought a spark off the bench. Picked up by Enge. Enge will take the shot down, but not on frame. How about Emma Way defensively? Twice now picking off the ball.
Hey, we're sitting right here along the sideline. That was all hustle coming from Way.
Another turnover with the pressure coming from the maize and blue.
Michigan State's defense a tad flat in the backfield, just kind of in a straight line. They're not putting in themselves in good angles to have a good first 1 or 2 touch and beat the press with 1 or 2 passes. It's important in moments like this where you're feeling really frazzled, you just take an extra second. And look at Way's defensive effort on this outlet pass, and then just keeps it in bounds. One hand on the stick and explodes right towards net. This is a player that really thrives on a big stage like this. We saw it last year in the Big Ten tournament, just her freshman campaign, netting some overtime winners, and she's a gamer.
She is a gamer, and interesting philosophy for Marsha Pankratz to bring her off the bench. She comes in early, and this is why the spark has been fantastic. I talked to Marsha Pankratz yesterday. I asked her 2 keys, and she said we've got to see that tenacious UMD all over the field, and Emma Way is demonstrating that. And she also said they need better finishing. They're going to have chances in front of the cage. They need to put them away. We've also seen examples of that early on from Bennett and Enge. Helen Knoll talking about solid possession hockey. Michigan State needs to keep the ball. Right now they've been chasing it. And then also they need to match Michigan's physicality. These 2 teams are number 1 and 2 in terms of yellow cards. It goes off away and out of bounds. So Michigan and Michigan State, number 1 and 2 in yellow cards.
This play was beautifully set up by Michigan. Look how well they're transferring the ball around the field. You see Faye Kyer dish it to the middle, and then Douthwaite again to their right side. And look at the point of attack by Esther DeLier. And that's where Emma Way gets a nice deflection on it. 2 chances actually looking directly at net.
Excellent work by our Big Ten Network crew to show all 5 passes there. And MOA, depending on how it deflects off her stick right there, that one could have found the back of the net. The Spartans going the other way. Faye Kyer pushing it forward to Megan Fenton. It was Kyer defending now. Played up quickly, turnover, back to Michigan State. At the moment, gorgeous conditions here at the Maryland Field Hockey and Lacrosse Complex.
Michigan State really needs to work the possession. They need to start focusing in on their receiving and passing skills and just work the ball slowly up the field. I think possession is going to be key for the Spartans as they close out here in the first half.
Nearly 15 minutes in, no score. 6th-seeded Michigan State, 3rd-seeded Michigan. Here comes Michigan again, putting together solid passes. There's Bennett playing with that goalie stick. Bennett deflected out of there is Magnoni, first-team All-Big Tenner. Stopping Bennett, a second-team All-Big Tenner.
And also Bennett transitioning into the midfield as we've seen through the later part of this first half. Michigan has so many versatile players that they can come off the bench and put onto the forward line, and seeing Bennett play a little bit more in that midfield position. This player has developed so much throughout her course at Michigan in her game sense, how she carries the ball.
Turnover for Michigan. Michigan State will try to pounce. Pushing forward is Matula. Comes all the way back, and Swenson will let it go in because of where it was let go.
And you saw how far Swenson had to come up. She was already at the top of the circle trying to add an extra player, an extra defender on the field. Costly turnover from Douthwaite that led to this counterattack. It's actually a great lead pass coming from Michigan State's attack.
Meg Douthwaite, a freshman from England, attended the Reed School. I wonder if Faye Curran knows about the Reed School. Ball stays inbounds. Talked about that physical play, mentioned that these two teams lead the Big Ten in yellow cards, but for the most part, it's been pretty clean, Kara.
I mean, it's everything about a rivalry game when you have two competitive and physical teams.
Maggie Batez. Ellie Sardo able to get to it. She's looking for MOA and then making the run behind. Bree Bednarski has also come off the bench for Marcia Pankratz and the Michigan Wolverines. Esther Delire, that's the whistle. Break zone here in College Park, Maryland. The rivalry that never dies. Michigan State and Michigan tied at zeros here in the first half of the Big Ten Field Hockey Tournament. Field Hockey on BTN is brought to you by State Farm. Talk to an agent today at 800-STATE-FARM. Early November here as Marcia Pankratz in the huddle. The Michigan Wolverines, they have put together some quality possession. The Michigan State Spartans had a couple opportunities early. They were putting the high pressure, but the last couple minutes, it's been mostly maize and blue.
Couple opportunities, absolutely right, inside the circle. I mean, when this team can move with speed and get behind the defense, they're very effective. Exactly on this field in their game against Maryland, they played a dynamite first half, and it was because of the speed through the midfield and on the forwards. If they can connect those passes up front, could start to see some stuff on net.
So Michigan comes out of the break and turn it over. We talked about the quality of this rivalry. 13 of the last 16 meetings between Michigan and Michigan State have been decided by one goal, with 10 of those contests in favor of the Wolverines. Here's MOA. Emma Way, the sophomore from Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania, Cumberland Valley High School, right in front of us here. As we are field side in College Park. Wouldn't want to be anywhere else.
Michigan State needs to be a tad more disciplined with applying that first line of defensive pressure, but also the support defensive pressure. Emma Way was able to dribble it in almost to the circle, and there were 4 Michigan State defenders not applying enough. They need to be more adamant about applying that and containing.
Inside the circle, Swenson with that stick. She is so quick. It's almost like she doesn't have any padding on. I mean, she moves so free, and her stick worked fantastic. She went down to one knee, and then with the stick in her right hand, able to swat it away. She is so fun to watch.
I mean, this is one of the reasons why this is one of the premier goalkeepers in the country. It's just her arsenal of weapons that she has is really fantastic and goes for the all ball there. And this is a player that is very excited to get back into the Big Ten tournament, did not have the opportunity to play in Michigan's final last year against Maryland. And this is a leader that prepares the same day, day in, day out. Marcia Pankratz has always talked about maturity of her.
Right in front. What a great pass sent across by Michigan State, lurking on the far side, wide open. It was Anderson. Delivered the perfect pass.
I mean, Michigan State is right there. This game would be 2-0 if it was just a matter of inches. Great positioning by the forward, and Kendall
here's
Anderson.
the goal. Michigan State knocking out the door. Right off the replay and in. Michigan State makes it real time. Matula puts the Spartans on top 1-0.
Michigan State now being able to capitalize on an opportunity. Fantastic shot initially coming from Matula. What a rocket finding the back of the boards. Takes a shot directly inside the circle. That's exactly what you want to do as an attacker or forward. Once you're inside the circle, you're shooting. You don't know what can happen. And Matula just firing a rocket.
The 11th goal of the season for Matula, the senior from Louisville. And it came literally seconds after Swenson came off her line to swat it away. Michigan State was able to get it right back. She let it get inside the circle, and even the best goalkeeper in the world would have trouble corralling that one, and it's 1-0 Michigan State. Matula has the Spartans in the lead. Bennett not happy with that whistle. Magnoni plays it forward. We've seen Michigan State make a concerted effort to also try to work it right up the spine, as Magnoni is often looking for Matula. Matula now with 11 goals, 5 assists, 27 points. She's second on the team behind Anderson's 36. Stood up again by the Spartans as they play it forward. Trombetta looking for a whistle. How about that? Michigan State coming out of the break. You talked about it during the break. They've got to come out, put more pressure on, and that's exactly what they did, Kara.
Big difference in a game if you can just get a couple of touches to go in one direction or the other. And Michigan State, like I said, had a lot of opportunities. And, you know, it's amazing to even see Michigan State before the game. This wasn't a team that looked stressed, and you wouldn't think that this team came into the first game of the Big Ten tournament with 2 tough losses. They were very relaxed. They were dancing around. They were laughing with each other. And that's an attitude and a perception that is directed all the way down from the coaching staff. They needed that goal to start this. This is an energized Michigan State team now.
Emma Way had it for a moment, but Mackenzie Brown was able to win it back. Now Brown under some pressure, threading the needle to Addie Donaldson, but they'll turn it over. Esther DeLier wearing number 4. Kay Fire. Faye Kyer, rather.
See the goal and how it developed, just a pass coughed up in the center of the midfield. Kristen Matula takes it directly the other way. Not much reaction time coming from Sam Swenson or the defense.
It's the only goal so far, 1-0 Michigan State. Bennett.
Closer, Matt! Closer, Matt!
Faye Kyer trying to find Lampa. And now Lampa over the ball. Kyer.
Great defense. That's disciplined defense coming from Bailey Higgins. You see how low she is to the ground, her defensive stance. She's able to move through the turf and on the turf. Such a solid defender that Michigan State has in the backfield.
Higgins, like Matula, from Louisville. Michigan's gone almost 14 minutes without a shot. As Michigan State, 3 saves already.
For as much as Michigan has been inside their offensive circle, they need to come away with something. Either finishing on a goal or get a penalty corner opportunity. They've had the chances, they've had the possession.
Talked about that collaborative effort offensively for Michigan. They've had 6 shots, 5 of them from 5 different players. Michigan 6 shots to 2 for Michigan State, but it's the Wolverines down a goal. Right now it's Inge, Bennett, and Way. The front line from Marcia Pancratz. They try to equalize here with 10 minutes and 20 seconds remaining in the first. Esther DeLier from the Netherlands. Cleared out of there by Michigan State by the goal scorer, Matula.
DeLier is such a tireless worker on the field, very active in the midfield. There's not a moment in the game where she isn't working and putting in a ton of effort.
Here's Way, over to Bennett. There's Esther DeLier, the graduate senior from Holland. That'll be a theme during this weekend's Big Ten field hockey tournament. Some big-time graduate seniors. Grace Ballston from Maryland. What a pickup. A team that always reloads anyway, and then they bring in Grace Ballston. You will love seeing her play if you haven't seen her already. The Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year for the Maryland Terrapins.
Well earned. Very well earned for Grace Ballston. Congratulations to her. It's an amazing time to have seen Ballston play in the Big Ten this year. Such a force, whether it be on the offensive corners or how she really directs the play throughout the field.
Trombetta with a risky pass over to Betez, and now Michigan State with that high pressure. Turn it over as Michigan will clean it up. Not afraid to go backwards to go forward, Michigan. A good possession team as Katie Trombetta, who we said last year played in the back of that midfield, just slid back with the departure of all 3 starting defenders for Marcia Pancratz and the Michigan Wolverines. Trombetta, excellent angled pass. Finding the stick there of Sina Lampa. And now Lampa will just give it right back though. Matula, the goal scorer, and sitting defensively there is Meg Douthwaite, the freshman from England.
Back of the stick, I believe, coming from Matula on that back tackle. Michigan has turned the ball over a couple times down the center of the midfield.
Allie Sardo. Sardo, excellent. Excellent stick work from Sardo to get inside the circle. But the team defense from Michigan State. Stepping up was Caitlin Abbott. Once again in the circle, pushing is Esther Delire. There's Sardo lurking inside the circle at the moment, far post. Maggie Batez, the sophomore, also from Massachusetts, as we said, a player that you've coached since she was a young player, Kara.
One of the more popular field hockey high school camps run out of Massachusetts. Not just high school, actually before then too, elite field hockey camp run by Northeastern coaching staff. Draws a lot of great talent from New England.
Anderson, Donaldson. Clock stop and then started again. 6:49 left here in the first, and it's your number 6 seed Michigan State with a 1-0 lead over Michigan. Kyer pushes it forward to Ali Sardo. Sardo sees 2, 3, 4 green jerseys, so she'll drop it back. Lampa. Now Esther Delire. You can hear the stick slapping inside the circle. It's Michigan trying to equalize before the first half ends.
Looks like Carly Bennett actually got hacked inside the circle. I'm surprised that wasn't called a corner.
Delire winning it back, squared. Excellent ball. Bennett looking to push it forward. Enge will pick it up again. Enge right back again. Stopped neatly there though by Mackenzie Brown. Michigan State under pressure, but they're not panicking when a lot of maize and blue jerseys are inside the circle. They're maintaining calm. They're not letting Michigan draw corners. Give them some credit for their poise defensively under pressure.
Yeah, and I think this is also Michigan State defense that looked a little tired in the second half against Northwestern. But as soon as they come up with the ball in the circle, they're outletting it enough to get at least a breath against the attack that Michigan is pressuring on.
Yeah, Helen Knowles, Michigan State's team, when they get the ball back in the circle, that's well said, Carol Lentz. They're looking up, making a perfect outlet as they start the transfer. At least try to get out of pressure. Esther Delire. She's a handful, Esther Delire. There's Esther Delire, got her stick out to slow it down. Pushing forward, Michigan State. Kendall Anderson, the redshirt junior. What a season Anderson's had. Second team all Big Ten. It's Madison O'Neill drawing the whistle, so now Michigan State will try to set up a play. The goal scorer, Matula, looking for McAdre, but couldn't find her. It's Enge doing the defensive work. Courtney Enge, the senior from San Diego. You see her right there. Been a super sub for most of her time at Michigan, but gets a chance this year in her senior campaign to start. Boy, Michigan State looking clean right now. Both sides of the ball. Well, there's a swing and a miss, just as I say that, but still picked up. Anderson has it. Wow, Michigan State did not like that call, as it'll come back to Michigan. Bennett plays it into space, but nobody home.
We've seen some fantastic block tackles coming from either team. What great work coming from Katie Trombetta.
Away will come back on from Marcia Pankratz, number 20. Swenson showing that footwork, still loose. And boy, if you don't think this means something, as you see diving on the field right there is Megan Fenton. You're crazy. Take a look at this effort here.
And it was that type of effort that could have been a major game changer for the opportunities that Michigan State had. Gets a nice touch on the ball. I thought that was actually going toward the back of the cage when Fenton came over and got a touch on it.
Megan Fenton from Toledo, Ohio, Ottawa Hills High School. Way, I'm gonna slap it down and cut it back. Emma Way having herself a game. Sent back across, what a ball to Enge. Beautiful pass to from Esther Delier, trying to find Enge on the run.
One of the reasons why Esther Delier is such a dynamic midfielder is that when she possesses the ball and goes on the attack, she has the ability to cross that ball and find the far post. Saw a goal earlier this year when Michigan played to Cal and Courtney Enge scored on a deflection just like that. Excuse me, it was against Stanford. She found the top of the net, so Enge can have the ability to make a nice deflection.
Here's a shot from distance.
Michigan has to finish. They've had a lot of opportunities here in the first 35 minutes of this game.
Kara reminds me, Marcia's second key, better finishing. Talked a lot about that. As we mentioned, nobody in double-digit goals for Michigan. 3 players with 6 goals, 1 with 5. Marcia Pancratz patrolling the Michigan bench. Boy, who could forget a year ago on this field to start the Big Ten season? Michigan and Maryland. Of course, Maryland has had Michigan's number short of that 2001 national championship game. So much controversy right in front of us, right down the field here in that game. They used the replay as well and didn't get it right as a quick restart, and Maryland won that game late. The Spartans sent in. Swenson. Final 30 seconds. If you're Helen Knoll, if you can hang on here for these 30 seconds, you got to be pretty pleased leading number 3 seed Michigan.
I think their defense is doing a good job with preventing Michigan from getting on the board so far in this first half. Team that's had 6 shots so far.
Quick whistle, 12 seconds remaining. Inside, still loose, and a big save coming. Talk about Swenson on the other side. Sierra Patton making sure every second had expired at halftime. The Spartans lead at 1-0. How about this save from Patton?
With just seconds ticking down, Sierra Patton comes out from the goal line, makes a fantastic diving save to keep Michigan State with a 1-goal lead at half.
And Kristen Matula, the senior for Michigan State, with the only goal. Emma Way brought a spark for Michigan, but was not able to finish. The Michigan State Spartans, they lost 4-1 in the regular season to Michigan. As you see, Marcia Pancratz and Helen Knoll in the middle of the field. Helen Knoll just checking on what Marcia's discussing just to make sure here. Sierra Patton came into the game with 30 saves. She's got 34 now. Sam Swenson came into the game with 60 saves. She's got still 60, didn't have any saves so far. That one time we saw her athletic work, but that was not a shot opportunity. She just came out and knocked it away, and then moments later the turnover and then the goal for Michigan State, Kara.
Well, you know, it's also quite impressive. Not a goal, or excuse me, not a corner for either team here in the first 35 minutes. It's been a fast game to be down here near the turf. A very competitive, physical, and fast game.
The Spartans headed into the locker rooms here at the Maryland Field Hockey and Lacrosse Complex, your host to the 2016 Big Ten Field Hockey Tournament. Yes, they're the number 1 seed, but it was predetermined years ago that they would be the host, so it wasn't like they're the host because they're the number 1 seed. Michigan State at halftime with 3 shots. Michigan has 7, and Michigan State with 4 saves. The Spartans trying to come up with a mini shocker here to start Game 1 of 4, the Big Ten quarterfinals. Michigan State on top of Michigan, 1-0. We're back with more from the half here on the Big Ten Network. Stay with us, everybody. Halftime here of quarterfinal number 1. Michigan State leads Michigan by a score of 1-0, and we're pleased to be joined by Spartan head coach in her 6th season, the Scottish sensation Helen Knoll. And Helen, a complete performance from your team. You must be pleased right now. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I think, part of our game plan today was to come out, beat Michigan to the ball, really focus on possessional hockey, and I think first half we did a great job with that. We got to be a little bit quicker in our decision making second half, and we've had too many balls go by the back post, and I'm looking for us to connect in some of those the second half.
What do you make of your defense so far in this game?
I think they've been playing very tough, diligent defense. Keep an eye on their mark. Michigan are getting a couple of touches on the ball that I would like to see us coming up with, but overall we got to keep staying numbers under the ball, staying matched up, stay even. Sierra Patton's put a couple of great saves on, and we got to keep that momentum going.
All right, Helen, 35 more minutes to go. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you.
Helen Knoll from Scotland. Grew up about 10 miles from St. Andrews. That's clean living. Associate head coach for 5 years before taking over 6 years ago for the Michigan State Spartans. Played collegiately at Kent State in the Mid-American Conference. Did Helen Knoll. In the second half underway again, Michigan in their maize blue and maize uniforms. The Spartans in green, black, and black. Alongside former captain of the Michigan Wolverines, Carol Lentz, I'm Dean Linke. Delighted to be with you for all 7 2016 Big Ten field hockey matches for today. 2 Friday and the championship on Sunday at noon right here on the Big Ten Network. And the Wolverines come out of the gates, working that right flank. Ellie Sardo wearing that number 12 uniform. Pushing forward now, Esther Delire. We saw Esther Delire make some unbelievable passes into the circle. Right at the end of the half, she sent a blazer in there that Courtney Inge just couldn't get to. Sophie McAdre will drop it over. Just outside the circle. Matula with the goal. Swenson down on the ground. Swenson bouncing around, still loose. And no whistle. 0 penalty corners, as Carol Lentz pointed out at the half.
Seemed like Sam Swenson was actually taken out by her own player and Katie Trombetta in that collision right there in the circle. You see Matula coming down the seam, and Katie Trombetta just backs into Sam Swenson, causing a little bit of a pileup directly in front of the net.
Turnover, Simone Bagnoni came over but lost it. Here's Casey Ammerman. We've mentioned Batez and Trombetta. Ammerman also started most of the games last year, but in the midfield, as they basically just slid their midfield line back.
I thought Michigan was effective in the first half with transferring the ball across the field. We saw the vantage point that they were able to take with their attack. See this team really pushing the tempo and pushing the pace, but maybe controlling that in more tempered manner might help them get some opportunity chances.
Shelby Sapika with the foul. We told you already, these two teams lead the Big Ten in yellow cards, physical play, but really, short of that foul right there, it's been fairly clean. Michigan has won 5 of the last 7 meetings and 9 of the last 12 overall in the series with Michigan State. We mentioned that 4-1 win back on September 16th where Michigan had 4 different players score goals. That's not surprising when you think about the fact 12 players have scored for the Wolverines as they're spreading the wealth. Another turnover. Matula starting it into the circle. On the attack, the Spartans. Swenson way off her line. And finally, we'll see our first penalty corner of the game.
See Michigan's defense collapse all together at once on that ball, causing a lot of bodies directly in front of the ball, not really designating who's going to put pressure on. Michigan State, though, have to give them a ton of credit with the turnovers that they've gotten inside their offensive 25. Matula has a fantastic jab tackle.
Yeah, Matula's been great. Sophie McAdre, who was the player that helped earn this penalty corner, will now handle the insert. Look out for Matula as well, and they could also drop it over to Anderson. It comes back to McAdre. Deflected, perhaps one too many pass, and cleaned up by Trombetta.
Play took a little too long to develop, and it was an off-kiltered pass back to the inserter.
Yeah, I felt like Anderson would have been a better opportunity. She was standing on the left side. Instead, they went in front of her, as you said, back to the insert. Let's take another look at that corner. Keep an eye on Anderson over on the left, waiting for it.
Well, it's a little confusing because as a defense, when Kendall Anderson, who was set up initially as a hitter, is actually looping over and setting up in that L1 position to be an option pass. As a defense, your direction goes to that person moving.
Supika trying to get out of trouble. Trombetta. All she did was slide back to fill the shoes of Lauren Thomas and earn first team All Big Ten recognition for doing it. Think about Trombetta in for Lauren Thomas as you take a look at Courtney Enge. We also mentioned Grace Balsden. Sarah Sprink was outstanding for Maryland, and now Balsden just comes right in. So you're a top 10 team every single year, just fill in the holes where needed.
You can sense how hungry Ali Sardo is before she even receives the ball. She's a very vocal, very verbal player on that forward line, has earned her position on the starting lineup for Michigan. She's just extremely hungry for the ball.
This is just the second time these two rivals have met in the Big Ten tournament. They met back in 2002 when Michigan State posted a 3-0 upset over Michigan. Trying to do that again here today, 14 years later. Take a look at our State Farm State of Success. The Michigan State Spartans, your 4-time Big Ten tournament champs. Did it 4 years ago in 2012. May get our first card here as well. It'll be the goal scorer Matula who will get the card. So now Michigan will have a player advantage, a green coming to Matula.
Well, Matula comes in very hard on that back tackle from behind, and once you kind of rub up on your body against a player, you're definitely going to direct the attention of the officials. And Michigan really needs to strike on their opportunities inside the 25. 4 entries inside the 25. No outcome for Michigan. No free hit, no corner, no goal.
Remember those numbers. It's going to have to change if Michigan is going to get back in this, and you figure they will, as Matula sitting out with the green card. See if Michigan can take advantage. There's Bennett again, dropping back into the midfield. Carol Lentz pointed that out in the first half.
Esther DeLier trying to go directly in front of her with 2 or 3 Michigan State defenders, when in fact the open field was to the left. Should have opened up the space, opened up her body, dropped the pass back to Trombetta, changed her point of direction.
Give Maggie Betez all kinds of credit for stopping the attack, as Michigan State was looking to go the other way. Meg Douthwaite from England. Drop it over to Esther DeLier from Holland.
Meg Douthwaite has really come into her own as a player in her freshman campaign, and Michigan coaching staff was waiting for a time this season when she's going to have a breakout game, and this is a player that notched 2 game-winning goals in the later part of the season, starting in the midfield at the start of this game. An extremely skilled player, also a player coming from England.
It's been mostly Michigan here in the second half with possession. As time is served for the green card, Matula will come back on the field. Leaves floating onto the field on what has become a late, beautiful fall day here. Still in the morning hours.
That's exactly what Michigan needs to start to do. Coming up with a corner, 10 minutes lapsed into this second half.
Zero penalty corners in the first half. Now, Michigan and Michigan State with 1. This is the first for the Wolverines with the insert, Emma Way. Way, stop, little touch, shot, low, deflected, still loose.
Players on the field are actually asking for a penalty stroke. You see Michigan's players talking with the official, probably determining if this should go to video review. Take a look back at the previous corner. A sweep at the top coming from Meg Douthwaite, looking for that deflection. And it looks like that ball was actually going over the end line and not toward the cage. It was in fact stopped by Michigan State's defender off of the shoulder. If that ball were in fact going toward the cage, it might have legitimate reason to be called a stroke, but not upon that review.
Instead, it's the second penalty corner. That shot came from Kate Fire that was high and went off the Michigan State. Here's a shot by Trombetta. She unleashed it. Katie Trombetta.
So that corner, that corner, yes, the play was originally called a 16-yard hit for Michigan State's defense coming out. Call is overturned and in fact ruled a corner. I believe the ball was deflected off of Michigan State defender's stick right inside that hash mark, giving the Michigan Wolverines another chance.
So 3 corners. Trombetta slid in, still loose for Bennett. Michigan State able to handle not 1, not 2, but 3 straight penalty corners from the Wolverines.
Absolutely fantastic job coming from Michigan State's corner defense. Stable and steady, it seems like they are inside the circle.
In the circle again, though, is Michigan. Back across. I see a lot of maize and blue jerseys trying to get in front of Patton, trying to obstruct her view. But once again, it'll come back to Michigan State as the Spartans are under some heavy pressure, to say the least.
Is just so strong over the ball. She carries the ball extremely well. She understands where the space is around her body. How can she move in that space? It's extremely deceptive, a hard player to defend. She helps Michigan get a corner opportunity, their 4th.
Carol Lynch, you're 100% right. Emma Way earned that penalty corner just by being so strong on the ball, able to keep possession and then slapping it inside the circle. Next touch was the 4th penalty corner now for Michigan. It'll be the 4th insert as well for Way. Way looking for it. It stopped. Douthwaite shot right down the middle. Sierra Patton stayed right in the middle of the goal.
Take a look back at the corner, and Christian Matula doing a good job at that trail position. Puts herself right near the stroke mark, comes up with the ball, trying to carry it out of the circle. Michigan has asked for a video referral on the field, so the officials will in fact go over to the monitors and take a look at this play.
This is a common theme for Michigan, as over half their corners during the season have been earned in the second half of games. Michigan State, on the other hand, earns most of their corners in the first half of games. So the Wolverines, a strong second half team, and we're seeing it here. They don't have a goal, but they've got 4 straight penalty corners, looking at 5.
Well, once we take a look again at the replay, it may have in fact hit the foot of a Michigan State defender inside the circle, which would give Michigan another corner opportunity. Take a look back at the Michigan offensive corner. Ball is stopped at the top of the circle. Shot coming, and it does in fact hit the foot of Bailey Higgins, situated to the left of Sierra Patton. Ball was stopped outside the circle for Michigan. Douthwaite placing a strike on it. You see Sierra Patton deflecting it and hitting the foot of Bailey Higgins.
Marcia Pancratz, 17th season at Michigan. Winner of the national championship. Her mom and dad watching up in Maine. Last year celebrated their 60th wedding anniversary. So we say hello to her mom and dad. Hope you're enjoying our coverage on the Big Ten Network.
So Michigan really knocking on the door now. Will be awarded with another offensive corner opportunity. And Michigan State's defense, I mean, they have a lot of pride right now in this corner 4 or 5 people they have in the circle. I think Carly Bennett is such an interesting player to have involved on the corners. She can be so versatile at that stick stopping position or at a spot to deflect the ball off an initial hit.
5th penalty corner for Michigan. Douthwaite again.
Deceptive pass coming from the top of the circle with Meg Douthwaite trying to look down to Esther DeLier for a nice deflection. DeLier, I believe, got it inside the goalpost. Take a look to the left of your screen. It was saved by Bailey Higgins initially. I believe also went off her foot to give Michigan another corner offensive opportunity.
6, all here in the second half, all in the last 5 minutes. Trombetta, it's still loose, back across. And Way, who had the insert, is back on it. You can see a little bit of fatigue right now from Michigan as well, as they've been dominating the offensive side. Michigan State starting to bunker. Trombetta earning the whistle. Michigan all over Michigan State, searching for the equalizer. And this time Way will lose it.
Michigan State really weathering the storm with their defense. They're getting a ton of pressure coming from the Wolverines. They never seem frazzled, they never seem out of control, but just doing their part individually and as a core to keep Michigan off the board.
So Michigan State going the other way. McAdre, almost a lone soldier up top for the Spartans. Has her pocket pick there, cleaned out by Kate Walker, who is off the bench.
Kate Walker always in the game when Michigan wants to apply more attack and more offensive opportunity. Kate Walker is an extremely explosive side defender and midfielder.
Marcia saying good things about the freshman from Wilmington, Delaware, not too far from College Park, Maryland. You got to believe her family's here. In fact, Helen Knoll talking about the fact that a lot of her family is here, and as you look across, you do see a whole lot of green in the crowd.
It's a great area to host a field hockey tournament. The community around here is very field hockey smart. You know, these players that are in high school and even younger grew up watching the sport at the highest stage. Esther Delire went hard down to the turf and is still on the turf. Time has been called by the officiating crew. Taking her time to get up.
Esther Delire has been a force in this game, defensively and offensively, and she wins it, particularly on that right flank. She has sent in some screamers.
Take a look back at the play that sent Delire to the turf, and it looks like her feet just kind of got caught up underneath of her. This is a tough player. Talked about her tireless effort on the turf. She plays with all compassion and heart.
Yeah, it looked like Addie Donaldson actually stepped on her shoe and then she flipped up. She's gonna stay in the game though. You talk about that toughness towards Delire. Swenson is way off her line.
Ball didn't travel 5 yards before entering the circle. Free hit for Michigan coming out.
That's why Trombetta's on it. Liza Stein, the 5-foot senior from Ann Arbor, Michigan, is now onto the field. Right, number 26 on the left side. It's coming into your screen right there. Sarah Patton for Michigan State came into this game with 30 saves. She's got 7 in this one. Shot at Helen Knoll and her staff. Georgia Holland, Tamara Durante. Plenty of time for Michigan. Give the Spartans credit though, as they face 6 penalty corners in the span of less than 4 minutes, and Michigan not able to score. Pushing forward again, Caroline's already telling you about the freshman Kate Walker on for Marsha Pancratz to supply some attack, and that's Kate Walker who cleans it up to Trombetta. Trombetta now dancing with it. Trombetta. One final pass, and not there to MOA. Katie Trombetta pushing forward with it. The first team all Big Ten star moving up from her center back position. Michigan desperate for a goal. Can they tie it? It's 1-0 right now, though. The Spartans on top. Field hockey on BTN is brought to you by Buffalo Wild Wings. Wings, beer, sports. Michigan State, Michigan, anywhere, anytime. You know it's going to be tight. A true rivalry matchup, so why not have it here in quarterfinal number 1. And right now, 6th-seeded Michigan State leads the Michigan Wolverines by a score of 1-0. That despite the fact that the last time Michigan State even took a shot was 1 minute and 8 seconds into this second half. Since then, it's been all Michigan, but unable to score a goal. And here comes Michigan again. Turnover to Michigan State. Kate Walker into the circle. And she ran out of real estate.
Such explosive speed that she has overlapping on the right side. I mean, you just look at her body, and her legs are probably 2/3 of her body. She has an incredible stride. This is a Michigan team that came in very fit this season. Every player on the roster passed the beep test. It's a great marker of the conditioning to start the season. And of course, as you go throughout the course of the season, you become more in game shape. And where you really want that to pay off is the postseason single game elimination tournament.
Allie Sardo. Mackenzie Brown for Michigan State. The Wolverines will switch the point of attack to Walker.
Haven't seen them do that too much here in the second half with transferring the ball through the midfield or backfield. It's a team that really likes to counterattack and put the pressure on, directing from that right side.
Turnover back to Michigan, played quickly inside, trying to find Enge. Deflected out of bounds though from Michigan State. It'll stay with the Wolverines. Douthwaite. Walker. They leave space for her. Back across. Emma Way was near post. Enge was far post. Another penalty corner coming now for Michigan. You see Walker. Those long legs that Carol Lentz talked about. Boy, during that break, of course, this is now number 7 penalty corners for Michigan. Faye Curran, our spotter who starred at Maryland last year, and Carol Lentz talking about the fact that Michigan State, they don't even change defenders, but they're bunkering in right now for sure.
I mean, this is a team that has faced a tremendous amount of pressure, not just in today's game, but if you just look over the course of their last weekend of the season, faced a lot of pressure coming from Northwestern, and then always a very potent offense in facing Stanford. But this is a long tournament, and if Michigan State can come out with a win today, this is a 3-game tournament. If you're going all the way to the finals, it's the largest field hockey conference in the nation. This play is under review. Michigan State, I believe, using their video referral. The ball was lifted by Kate Walker and went off the hand or off of the arm of a Michigan State defender. Take a look right here. It's hard to tell if it actually went off the arm or possibly the stick of a Michigan State defender and over the end line. Looks like it did in fact hit the wrist. Great utility that we can have for the video review process, especially in the tournament where these situations are exaggerated and the outcomes are exaggerated in high stress and high pressure situations. So it'll be a free hit for Michigan State's defense coming out. It's a good use of the video referral by Michigan State.
Fantastic use in the Spartan bench with a loud cheer just to the left of us here at the Maryland Field Hockey and Lacrosse Complex. Great use of the video review, Kara. Michigan State under siege. Michigan State will take any kind of offense at the moment as Megan Fenton got to it first, knocked out of bounds. It'll stay with Michigan State. Clock keeps moving. 14 minutes, about 10 seconds remaining in this game. Spartans trying to hang on to that 1-0 lead.
Tricky pass coming from Michigan State. Do not want to do anything that could possibly cause a turnover or counterattack, especially when you're possessing the ball. You want to wear down the clock. You want to take your time over the free hits.
Bennett. Nifty touch back, feeling the pressure. Now Stein. 5-foot Stein into the game. Sardo.
End line play has been a little tricky for Michigan, not able to really control the ball along that boundary and change the point of attack going inside the circle.
Yeah, especially on the left side. The majority of the 7 penalty corners have been earned from the right side for Michigan. Here's Trombetta. Now again to Walker as they build it out of the back. Walker Long strides, excellent stick work. Pass completed away.
Three Michigan players directly situated in front of the net. They're ready for that cross ball or that long hit. Esther Lyer not in the game right now. Typically the player that feeds the ball or serves the ball inside.
Douthwaite in front, looking for Inge. Patton has Spartans laying on the ground in front of her.
A lot of credit has to be given to Sierra Patton in this game.
Here's a shot, but too far deep, didn't matter.
Almost deflected by Carly Bennett. Thinks she's a difficult player to defend inside the circle as a defender because you're trying to force her to her weak side, but in fact, that's her strong side. She was asking it for it on the left-hand side. Ball just a little off.
Yeah, obviously Michigan looking for that deflection, sent in well beyond the circle. A lot of bounds as Michigan State really has not put together any sustained offense here in the second half. 35 minutes is a long ways to go without getting any offense going to at least try to kill the clock. Death by possession sometimes works, but right now it's just pressure, pressure, pressure coming from the Michigan Wolverines. Spartans come into this game 8-11. However, they've lost 5 of those games by just 1 goal, including 4 one-goal losses to ranked teams. As a conference, the Big Ten coaches made a decision to have a super competitive non-conference schedule. And you think about that for Michigan, playing North Carolina not once, but twice this year.
Yeah, that's a tough schedule. That was a very hard road swing for Michigan, coming out, losing to Maryland in overtime, and then facing North Carolina. But as coaches say, it's all by design. This is a conference that has gotten increasingly competitive, especially with the addition of Maryland to this conference. It's been a great thing overall for the national recognition.
So here come the Spartans now with a little bit of possession. Trombetta will clean it up. Trombetta right in front of us.
Position of the field that Trombetta is used to playing, and she was last year a center midfielder. She's been pushed back to that center back position because of the holes that Michigan had to fill on the defensive line. But Katie Trombetta naturally is a center midfielder.
With that whistle, we talk about the power of the Big Ten. Maryland number 3 in the national polls, Penn State 6. Michigan number 10, Northwestern 12, and Iowa 15. Northwestern and Iowa, our last match of the day, the 4-5 game that Carol Lentz is looking forward to. 9 minutes and 20 seconds remaining here in this one. You feel like Michigan has a goal in their bucket.
Time and time again, though, Michigan State's defense been able to stop the ball or the attack and easily turn the ball going in the opposite direction. Green card being given to Esther Delayer. So she will sit out for at least 2 minutes. Those player-up situations become all the more important and exaggerated in times like these.
So Esther Delayer, wearing number 4 for Michigan, the graduate senior from Holland, will sit out. The way this game is going, though, you feel like Michigan could lose another player and still keep possession based on how Helen Knowles Michigan State Spartans are trying to protect that 1-0 lead.
Don't often see Kate Walker driving the ball up the course of the field. Usually a player, when she receives it, is looking to attack with her dribbling and explosive speed. Bailey Higgins having all sorts of time, though, possessing the ball off that free hit.
The Spartans, numbers are there. Stepping up in the nick of time though, Megan Betez. She wins it. And now she'll work it up the field, left side. Bennett continues to help out in the midfield. Trombetta, keep in mind Michigan playing down a player. Enge needs to win this for Michigan, she does. Play quickly to Stein. Stein will check back, seeing that she couldn't continue down toward the end line, and she'll square it to the right side.
Ali Sarda doing a tremendous amount of work along the end line, just doing lateral cuts every time the ball was being transferred for the midfield.
Excellent point. Movement without the ball, so important. It's loose in front. Flying in there was Stein.
Stein, a great spark coming off the bench for the Michigan Wolverines. Where's that captain band around your leg? A well-respected, not only athlete, but student athlete.
Incredible talent, amazing singer. Senior from Ann Arbor, Michigan, Pioneer High School. And now looks like there's some confusion on whether they asked for a video referral or not.
I believe so.
Clock is stopped with 7 minutes and 6 seconds remaining in regulation. With your 6th seed Michigan State Spartans on top of the Michigan Wolverines 1-0. Helen Knoll from Scotland. A couple months ago, her family came over to spend time with her 2 kids. Of course, Halloween just last weekend, a busy time around the Knoll shop. We'll go ahead and congratulate our award winners. The Player of the Year, Velma Luce from Maryland. Your Offensive Player of the Year, Natalie Cafone from Iowa. Defensive Player of the Year, Grace Ballston from Maryland. Katie Birch from the Iowa Hawkeyes is your Freshman of the Year. And coming up in our next game for number 2 Penn State, Charmarette Curtis is your Coach of the Year as we get another look. It did look like it hit Enge's foot.
It was a play-on situation at that point. You can see the official situated along the end line.
Watching the 2016 Big Ten Field Hockey Tournament from the Maryland Field Hockey and Lacrosse Complex, College Park, Maryland. Number 3, Michigan, led by Courtney Enge, not been able to find the back of the cage, trailing number 6 Michigan State by a score of 1-0. Alongside the Pride of Michigan, former captain of the Michigan Wolverines, Carol Lentz, I'm Dean Linke. Be here for all 4 quarterfinal games today. After this one, at around 12:30, we'll have Penn State with Charmarette Curtis, your Coach of the Year, taking on Amanda Janney and the Indiana Hoosiers. Then it's Missy Maharg and Maryland against Meredith Civico and Rutgers, and then it's Northwestern, Tracy Fuchs and Lisa Salucci for Iowa. Those are the coaches for all of these 5 Big Ten teams. A strong year for the Big Ten with 5 teams in the top 15. Marcia Pancratz, the 17-year head coach from Michigan, telling me yesterday 3 is a lock, 4 would be nice, 5 perhaps a stretch.
Absolutely. I mean, at this time of the year, too, all eyes are turning to the other conference championships that are happening across the country. And if you're any team that kind of has a chance or on the bubble of getting in the tournament, you want to see those top seeds advance through the tournament. Be a much different story if the number 3 seed in Michigan does not survive past the quarterfinals today.
What does that mean, Kara? Do you have any idea?
I mean, it really puts their chances of getting into the NCAA tournament in question.
Okay, you heard it here on the Big Ten Network with 6 minutes and 13 seconds remaining in the second. Douthwaite gets it in, looking for Way. Way so strong on the turn, has it ripped away though by Laura Bonas. As Lauren Bonas steps in to handle number 20, MOA. Michigan State working on their 3rd shutout of the season.
Sierra Patton coming into this game was just 1 in 3 on the season in net. An incredible stat, actually, if you realize the defense that she has helped her team put together.
She's got 8 saves. The Spartans gonna try to put it away right here, diving across. Your goal scorer, she's already got 1 goal. Talking about Kristen Matula, she was looking for the brace.
Fantastic athletic effort coming from Matula, and these are the types of plays and efforts that you want to see in the postseason tournament. Saw Megan Fenton earlier in this roundabout diving to the turf as well. Can sense urgency for the Spartans.
Kenzie Brown under pressure, somehow Michigan State able to keep it. Taken away by Batez. So Leggy Batez.
A lot of green jerseys set up in the middle of the field. Michigan not very active right now, not providing any type of cutting to the ball towards the center part of their field.
Lampa is into the game wearing number 7. Also into the game is Leah Cardarelli, wearing number 1. Not seen a lot of her as they're trying to find that goal. Lampa 7, Cardarelli 1, Enge also in there. MOA is in there as you're seeing 4, 5 forwards now pushing forward. You have to with just 4 minutes remaining. Down a goal. But coming out of that video review, whatever Helen Knoll said to the Spartans worked because Michigan State has had a little bit more of the game. Here's a foul now, though.
Kristen Matula now issued a yellow card. She was issued a green card earlier in this game. So with 3.5 minutes left, Matula will be on the sideline. Michigan now playing with a player up.
Wow, remember that. That's costly here as Trombetta just tried to slap it inside the circle. It's loose. Michigan will take a penalty corner or a goal. Deflected high, still loose. And there's the whistle. You knew one was coming.
There's a high ball directly in front of the circle.
Player down is Mackenzie Brown, number 10.
Yes, immediately went down. Take a look back. Ball was kind of bouncing on the way into the circle, and then right here, when Esther DeLayer takes a shot on net, ball is lifted, and I think she was actually able to turn her head just in time to have the ball go off the side of her head. But you see some veteran field hockey players, you notice a lot of scars and marks on their face, above their eyebrow, on their forehead. And that's exactly one of the reasons why there's a lot of action happening in a very small space with sticks and high balls. Thankfully, Nothing too major for Mackenzie Brown, is able to walk off to the sideline.
So Michigan State will have to go 3 minutes and 25 seconds. Almost that entire time down a man as they're searching for their first Big Ten tournament win since 2013. Way. Searching for that penalty corner. And she'll get the whistle.
So Michigan State talking with the officials. It is ruled a corner on the field. I believe Michigan State, because they do still have their video referral, they are able to use it. So there may, in fact, have been an infraction before the foul that the officials called to give Michigan the corner. So they're looking to review as to whether the ball was above or below the knee. Take a look back at the replay. And Emma Way possessing the ball directly on the end line. And the ball was deflected off of the stick of Bailey Higgins, I believe. And initially that contact was below the knee. Take a look at a couple different angles, and it didn't look like when Emma Way actually hit the ball into Bailey Higgins that that was a lifted ball, but Bailey Higgins did in fact lift it into herself. So I believe the corner will stand on the field. Michigan State does lose their video referral.
Now the 8th corner for Michigan, all 8 coming in the second half. Eight penalty corners this half. Emma Way has handled the insert on all of them. Trombetta with the stop to shot. Right in front and in. Michigan scores. It looks like it was finished by Esther Delire. And we are tied at
1. Well, it's been looking like Michigan State has been trying to look for a deflection on the outside post, trying to go toward that post player and what I believe is Bailey Higgins. Kristen Mitula not part of the corner defense because she is situated on the sideline. And you see Esther Delire sitting right there off the post. Sierra Penn almost had that ball cleanly cleared to the outside of the post, off by a few inches. And Esther Delire comes off the grip of her stick and in for the equalizer.
Boy, I feel like Leah Cardarelli also got a little bit of touch on that. We'll take another look at it at some point. Trombetta, and then I think Cardarelli just into the game here in the second half. May have just got a touch on it wearing that number 1 jersey.
Take a look back at the goal. See if she did in fact get a touch on it. Direct hit coming from the top. Cardarelli may have touched the toe of her stick. It's a little hard to see because of the crossbar at the top of the net. Nonetheless, Michigan finally capitalizes on their 8th corner.
And now they're looking for the winner.
Big turn of events for Michigan State.
Huge. I was just going to say the Michigan State bench with their heads hanging just a little bit. Here's Trombetta, who at the moment will get credit for an assist on that goal. We wonder if Cardarelli will get any recognition, as came all the way through from distance, but nobody in maize and blue able to deflect it. Now overtime looming with 90 seconds remaining. Delire, who got the goal for Michigan and the Wolverines. It's Cardarelli who has been solid off the bench here late. The sophomore also from Massachusetts.
One minute remaining in regulation. 1 minute.
Boy, don't forget as well that yellow card for the goal scorer, Kristen Matula, for Michigan State, coming at a costly time.
And if this game does go into overtime, I believe that that yellow card still has to be served out.
The Spartans with 27 seconds. Now the shot is deflected. Will stay with Michigan State.
Megan Fenton didn't really have much of an angle to get anything quality on net. Good pressure, though, coming from Maggie Betez.
How about that defensive work, though, from Katie Trombetta? She was not going to be denied. And we have overtime field hockey coming your way in quarterfinal number 1. Michigan State with that first half goal. They bunkered for 33 minutes or thereabouts. As you see the goal scorer, Kristen Matula, still out with that yellow card. And the Wolverines with the equalizer, Esther De Lier from the Netherlands, has made it 1-1.
Great job by Esther De Lier, just staying composed and situated on the outside post. Michigan has been trying again and again and again to go toward that side. And as mentioned, Matula not only not in the game, but also on the corner defense. And this is a Michigan State team where their corner defense got tested heavily throughout the course of this game.
Overtime in quarterfinal number 1 between Michigan and Michigan State. Welcome back to the 2016 Big Ten Field Hockey Tournament from College Park, Maryland, home to the Maryland Field Hockey and Lacrosse Complex. And in quarterfinal number 1, we're going to have some extra field hockey as Michigan State and Michigan are tied and headed to overtime. Coming up after this one around 12:30, it's number 2 Penn State, number 7 Indiana. Your host and number 1 seeded, your regular season champ Maryland Terrapins will take on Rutgers. And it's Northwestern and Iowa in the game slated for 5:30. All 4 of them can be seen live. Let's take a look at the highlights in this one, Carol Lenz.
Michigan State was able to close out the first half with a 1-goal lead due to this play. Kristen Matula coming up with the ball in the center of the midfield, directly into the circle, rifles a shot, finds the back of the boards. Spartans didn't have many opportunities in the first half. They had some quality ones, but certainly able to capitalize on this. Could they hold it for the last 35 was the big question. And Michigan awarded their 8th corner after a video referral and the call overturned. Michigan State lost their video review or video referral, leads to a Michigan goal, and now tied at 1.
Esther De Lier with her 5th goal of the season to go with 4 assists. Officially, Matula's goal unassisted as she slammed it in there, and also they're going to say Esther De Lier unassisted. Take a look at the overtime rules. 2 15-minute sudden victory overtime periods. If you score, you win. There'll be a 2-minute break. If neither team scores, the game will go to a 5-player shootout.
We talked about conditioning earlier in the broadcast, didn't we? I mean, and especially with the pace that this game plays, it's so fast. So it's really physically demanding when you step into these 15-minute overtime stanzas. This is what it's all about.
Michigan State with 2 shots in the second, 3 in the first, 5 total. Michigan with 15 shots. So if you're Helen Knoll, you clearly bunkered there in the second half and tried to survive a barrage of shots for Michigan. Now you've got to change it up a little bit. Now keep in mind Matula, I believe, is still sitting out.
Correct. There are 5 field players from Michigan State set up on the field right now. That's a major disadvantage when you look at the scope from end line to end line.
All right, overtime underway here. Quarterfinal number 1 as part of the 2016 Big Ten Field Hockey Tournament here in College Park. What a spark Kate Walker, the freshman, has provided for Marcia Pancratz off the bench. Walker slaps it across. You can see Way going hip to hip. Good patience from Michigan State as Addie Donaldson will clear it. Trombetta looking for a teammate.
And Simone Vagnoni now pulled up a little bit higher in that midfield. So definitely a lot of the core players from Michigan State's defense starting in this overtime. These are players that have played already the full 70 minutes and under high pressure. Certainly led in part by Bailey Higgins.
You score, you win. So much pressure now. Katie Trombetta. Trombetta again to Walker. Walker will lose it. Megan Fenton. Matula back in. Penalty served.
Emma Way was just sitting right there by the 25-yard line. Esther DeLier had her head down, could have easily fed a pass to Emma Way to create some counter. Really want to let the ball do the work in these overtimes.
How about that battle between Way and Higgins?
Michigan, a very veteran team when it comes to overtimes this season, having 3 overtime games, 2 of those victories against some top 20 opponents in Iowa and Northwestern.
Yeah, got the feeling Marcia Pancratz was never panicked down a goal, even with just a few minutes remaining, particularly after Matula went out with the yellow.
Man, Bailey Higgins fell down and then got up and got the ball. Emma Way literally broke her ankle there, made her fall down with one move, and Bailey Higgins still had enough athleticism to come away with the ball. Wow.
Outstanding display of athleticism. And what a move by Way. Douthwaite. Douthwaite again for Michigan. Across. Well, look at the battle there between Higgins and Way.
Yeah, certainly so. It's been a fun 1v1 matchup to watch. Bailey Higgins marking Emma Way extremely well, directly on her shoulder in between Way and the goal cage. That's fantastic defense.
Those two just sophomores. We're going to see that matchup several more times during their Big Ten careers. Maggie Betez. Now Trombetta. Courtney Enge now moved back. Carly Bennett. Brother, a big-time hockey player, big-time hockey family. Betez.
Addie Donaldson applied pressure to Maggie Betez, who has been situating herself all throughout the 25, changing her counterattack, changing her point of attack as a defender and how she can get inside the circle. She does exactly that, earns her team a corner opportunity. I feel like I've been saying corner opportunity a lot throughout this game. I believe the 9th or 10th corner for Michigan.
I think 9's the number. Talked about Michigan with 2 overtime wins. This is just Michigan State's 2nd overtime contest. They lost 1-0 to Louisville. Douthwaite back over to Trombetta, back over to Bennett. Bennett low. Stop there by Higgins. She'll throw her mask down.
Bailey Higgins playing that post position extremely well, had her stick down the whole time, but doesn't just sit on the end line. She really gets directly in line with her goalkeeper, and Sierra Patton comes up with a great defensive save.
Enge had it for a moment, but guess who? Once again, number 12, Bailey Higgins with the defensive work. Penn State, Indiana, coming up around 12:30 on the Big Ten Network. Maryland, Rutgers at 3. Northwestern, Iowa, 5:30. Helen Noel asking for a timeout for her Michigan State Spartans. She wants to talk to the team in green. And with that timeout, we'll take a timeout. Searching for a winner in quarterfinal number 1, the first of 4. We're tied at 1 between Michigan State and Michigan. Stay with us on the Big Ten Network. BTN is your home for the 2016 Big Ten Field Hockey Tournament. Quarterfinal coverage continues next as Penn State takes on Indiana. Catch all the action live from College Park right here on BTN and streaming live on BTN to go. Waiting for that first team to move forward to face the winner of Penn State, Indiana. In the bottom half, it's Maryland, Rutgers, Northwestern, and Iowa. Here, though, in overtime after the timeout for Helen Noel and Michigan State. They're back at it, tied at 1. Alongside the Pride of Michigan, Carolets, I'm Dean Linke. Delighted to be with you for all 7 for today, 2 on Friday. Championship noon on Sunday. Batez back to Trombetta. The goal scored, Delire.
Quite similar play, actually, to the overtime goal where Michigan got scored on in the game against Maryland in this exact field. It's important that your defenders can really add a point of attack in these overtimes, and Katie Trombetta with a great feed down to the corner.
Courtney Enge forcing the turnover. Faye Kyer in now for Marcia Pankratz up top, coming out of that break. So it's Kyer, Enge, and Esther Delire. Douthwaite smacked in off of Enge. Douthwaite going toe-to-toe with her was Addie Donaldson.
Good patience by Addie Donaldson. Approached the ball well, contained Douthwaite to the outside of the field. It's good composure.
Donaldson, the redshirt senior from Canada. Trombetta, so strong. Comes forward. Trombetta stays with it. Trombetta just outside the circle. And once again, it's Donaldson doing the defensive work, but she'll also earn the whistle. Donaldson will push it forward. Looks like a pretty good ball. Nope, it'll skip along. Too long, too strong to find Kelsey Keener, the freshman forward.
Nonetheless, a good outlet ball from Addie Donaldson gives the defense a tad bit of a break or a breath. Buys him some time.
Way diving to the ground. She's put in an impressive shift. Doesn't start for Marcia Pankratz, but plays a lion's share of minutes. Ooh, and that one almost got her in the head as Higgins sent it forward. Bennett in a 1v1 battle there with Simone Bagnoni.
Bagnoni has a great approach. Stays very low to the ground, extremely balanced with her defensive stance.
Vagnoni, first team all Big Ten. Douthwaite. Keener on her. And here comes Vagnoni. She's looking up. Drops it over to Keener. Keener now. Better work from Michigan State. Keener will come out. Quick sub made by Helen Knoll and Michigan State. Back across, the Spartans trying to win it. Matula's got the only goal for Michigan State. She'll chase it down, have it for a moment and lose it. Matula quickly restarted into the circle, back across. Swenson's there. She'll kick it. Boy, not only will she kick it, she'll kick it out into play for Michigan. She finds Esther DeLier.
With Krista Matula situated on the right side of the field, she is extremely far out. She's really spreading the field. Michigan State is looking to get her the ball, to give her time to be able to attack. Saw her ability to do that in the first half with coming up with the turnover, going inside the circle and taking a shot, scoring a goal. So certainly in times like this, you want to set her up in a situation to be able to do that.
Maggie Betez.
Saying the first foul that occurred, but other than that, that was a very clean block tackle coming from Addie Donaldson.
4 minutes left in this first overtime. Sudden victory. As Marcia Pankratz again to her bench. Allie Sardot, number 12, back in. Faye Kyer has stayed in. Kyer in the circle, back across, right in front.
Take a look at Michigan State's offensive opportunity. Matula taking the free hit or the self-start right away, getting inside the circle, puts her in close range. Check out the reach of Sam Swenson, though.
Sam Swenson with that left foot, used that same left foot to kick it out to DeLier and start the Michigan attack. Michigan State from distance, looked like it went off the far post, may have been outside the circle, now still loose. Go ahead, Kara.
I believe it hit the inside of the post and actually bounced out.
Incredible. The Spartans stay with it.
Take a look back at that previous play. Shot coming from outside the circle and did hit the post, bounced out, but that shot was from the outside. Sam Swenson was maybe just looking for that to go over that line.
Yeah, I think so. It was way past the circle. So it wouldn't have mattered. 2:37, 2:35 now left.
Nothing like that ping sound for a goalkeeper to hear in situations like that.
Walker over the ball, Douthwaite behind her. Walker has shown the ability to beat players. Donaldson has been solid though. Donaldson gets support. Fenton now can get behind the ball. She can't clear it though. Walker again. Restart's coming fast and quick. Sardot in front of the cage.
I believe where Sardot actually deflected the ball, she was already outside of the post, so you already put yourself in a poor opportunity to deflect something toward net. If you stay inside that post and it hits your stick, it's a different story.
Deflected off of Michigan State, it'll stay with Michigan. 90 seconds left here in the first overtime. Again, they'll play two 15-minute sudden victory overtimes. They don't have a winner there, we'll go to a shootout. See that very often. Usually you find a winner.
Sometimes you can start to see fatigue come out in different ways. You lift the ball, you tackle poorly, you hack, so you start to see some fouls like that become exaggerated, and that's due to mental and physical fatigue.
Saw Marcia Pankratz a moment ago over his shoulder to see a White. Ryan Langford also in his 8th season. White in her 7th. Been together quite some time now with Marcia. Who's in her 17th season, the former star of the Iowa Hawkeyes. "30 seconds remaining here in the first overtime. Kristen Matula, she's got the goal for Michigan State. Esther Delire, the goal for Michigan. Inge outside the circle in front. Can't find Sardell, she was open.
Sardell was certainly looking to make a cut inside and get a nice little deflection there.
So 85 minutes. Not going to be enough to find a winner, as Michigan State scored one in the first. Michigan scored one with 2 minutes remaining in the second. You can see fatigue on their face. What a shot of Courtney Inge. We're going to take a break, come back for the second overtime. Can we find a winner in quarterfinal number 1 between Michigan and Michigan State? Second overtime coming your way. This is how we got here, Carol Lentz.
Take a look back at the first half, the first quarterfinal of the day to start the tournament. Kristen Matula gets her team started with a nice goal to put the Spartans at a 1-goal lead going into halftime. But this is a defense that has been heavily tested throughout the course of the season, and they certainly got tested in the later minutes of the second half. Corner opportunity, Katie Trombetta from the top. Leah Cardarelli got a touch on it. And then Esther Delire notching the equalizer. And still after 15 minutes of 6v6 action, still no decision as to who is advancing to tomorrow's semifinal.
17 shots for Michigan, 7 for Michigan State. You see the second half in overtime. 2-1 plus for Michigan, 10-4. Look at the saves though for Michigan State. 10 saves for Sierra Patton.
Yeah, quite an incredible performance by Sierra Patton. 10 saves already on the day. Has to be a career high for her.
There's Lucia White, the assistant coach for Marcia Pankratz, high-fiving the maize and blue. Michigan never panicked. Michigan State went pretty much, I think Helen Noah will admit, straight defensive in that second half. Penalty corner after penalty corner. 7 straight in a span of minutes, and then finally the goal coming from Delire. 15 minutes of overtime, we don't have a winner, and now we'll have 15 more. If we don't, we will go to the shootout. And you'll see it right here on the Big Ten Network. But let's see if we've got a winner. The 2016 Big Ten Field Hockey Tournament coming to you from the Maryland Field Hockey and Lacrosse Complex, College Park, Maryland. An outstanding facility here. We're glad you're with us. Alongside former Michigan captain and all Big Tenner Carol Lentz, I'm Dean Linke. We'll be with you for all 7 games here from College Park. This is just the first one. Here's Trombetta. Trombetta played into Bennett. Once again, Bailey Higgins.
Great read by Bailey Higgins, was actually marking way and then came directly across the end line.
Yeah, Bailey Higgins has been just outstanding. As we came in talking about Trombetta being first team all Big Ten as that center back, but let's hear it for Higgins. Touches it there.
Almost deflected into the hands of Emma Way with a straight breakaway toward net.
Michigan State bringing on Kendall Anderson, the redshirt junior. She's their leading scorer for Michigan State, and we had barely said her name here in the second half. We have the Wolverines pushing forward. Ange gets a touch on it. Carolets, we have not had a Big Ten shootout since 2003.
And a new format, too. 1v1 situation taken from the 25-yard line at 8 seconds on the clock. It's actually amazing to see how well-balanced Michigan is with players that can come away with victories in clutch situations. Meg Douthwaite of recent 2 game winners, Courtney Enge with 3, Emma Way, who really made her mark, I think, last season with some incredible game winners, and even started this season by notching the game winner against North Carolina on a corner with time expired. So if you're looking for one threat from Michigan, it's hard to pick one. A lot of players can follow through.
Matula. Back to Higgins. Fenton. But they really have not been able to find Kendall Anderson, though, who comes in with big numbers, 14 goals and 8 assists. The ball has barely touched her stick.
Yeah, absolutely. And don't really see Kendall Anderson popping for the ball too often.
Here she is. And she'll get it back. Seems to be laboring just a bit. Matula. Fenton slipping just a little bit. You see all the leaves now falling on the field here. A little bit of wind starting to dust up in College Park. On the turn! Oh, what a shot. Fenton, what a turn, still loose. Swenson was there.
Fantastic save coming from Sam Swenson. Love to see how aggressive this player can get when she gets off the goal line. She's so determined and adamant with those block saves. Kick saves, excuse me.
Now Michigan, Douthwaite slaps it to the ground and she'll push forward on the carpet. Cardarelli is open. Cardarelli just outside the circle. Patton is out. Cardarelli with the shot, and Michigan has won it. 2-1 over Michigan State.
It's a heartbreaker for Sierra Patton. What a great burst of action over the course of 10 or 12 seconds. It started with the flurry of action that Michigan State had in the offensive circle that led to a Michigan counterattack. Some good passing in a 2v1 situation puts Leah Cardarelli in a position to net the game winner. Number 1 comes away.
Leah Cardarelli, don't even think she saw the field in the first half. Came on in the second half, and the sophomore now with her first goal of the season for Leah Cardarelli, who looked good last year in her freshman campaign. What a time to score the first goal. Heartbreak for Michigan State. This rivalry so storied. Michigan State came out so strong, just couldn't hang on, and Michigan doing what Michigan does, moving on in the Big Ten tournament.
No game in this tournament will be easy for any team, and I think this is a great way to start out the 2016 tourney.
Boy, you feel for Helen Knoll. A BTN standout goal coming from number 1, Leah Cardarelli.
Meg Douthwaite outletting the ball after Michigan's defense did a great job of standing off some Spartan offensive power. And Cardarelli just holding on the outside of the field. Douthwaite lays it to her, takes 1 or 2 touches, gets Sierra Patton on the move. What a great dish by Douthwaite.
Incredible dish, and it was Douthwaite. She slapped it down to the ground and started that attack as Cardarelli finished. And remember, Carolens, last year it was Cardarelli who scored with less than 1 minute to go to beat Penn State in the semifinals in one of the all-time great matches.
Fantastic fight for the Wolverine. It was a much different story in the first half. The victors become victorious.
And Leah Cardarelli joins us now. She had that thriller last year in the semifinals against Penn State. And Leah, you do it again. Tell us about the goal and the finish.
I was coming down the field. My teammate Meg had it in the middle, and she was dribbling down. Just jigged it over the girl's stick, and I was there as a one-on-one with the goalie, and the whole season we're just like, move the goalie, move the goalie. So I took a few steps to my left, got a good backhand in, and yeah.
What was the team's message to each other when you guys, before you stepped on the field for the overtime, with the way you came back in this game, tied it up? What was the team thinking and saying before you stepped out there?
Kind of just go out strong, don't lose hope. Like, this is what we trained for all year, and we want to play another game. We always want to play another game.
Leah Cardarelli, your first goal of the season. You picked the perfect time. Did you know you were going to get one today?
No, I always go out, like, doing my best, trying my hardest, and as a forward, one of your main responsibilities is to score. So, you're always hoping it. I'm always hoping to score, but it just happened to come at a clutch time.
Cardiac Cardarelli, we may call you that, Leah. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you.
All right, good luck the rest of the way. And now Michigan, as you take a look at the bracket here as part of the 2016 Big Ten Field Hockey Tournament. Kara, they await the winner of Penn State and Indiana.
Yeah, and both of those teams just sitting here waiting on the sideline for their game to start, watching all the action unfold here today. It's going to be a stellar matchup between the Hoosiers and Nittany Lions.
That's it for now from College Park, where Michigan knocks off Michigan State in overtime 2-1.